Hello there, I'm David. Welcome to Trysport. Today we're going to do an introduction to cross-country skiing, focusing on this video on classic skiing. You can go to part 2 and we've got a take there too on skate skiing. So we'll do both, but today on this first part we're going to focus on classic skiing. So on classic skiing there's basically 3 types of classic skiing. You can do on ungroomed trails, so lake skiing or backcountry skiing, or you can go to a ski club and do track set skiing on a groomed trail. And you can also do a faster version of classic skiing. So I'm going to cover the 3 types of skiing to start with, and I'm going to start out with the recreational skiing. So in recreational skiing, we can go at your back door on your lakefront property if you've got one, if you're lucky enough to have one. And for that we would use a lake ski on an ungroomed trail, or you can go to your ski club and ski on the track set. So we all know those cross-country skiing, the 2 tracks that they groom in the trail. That's what we call track set skiing or diagonal skiing. So 2 different types of skis. So on your lake ski on an ungroomed trail, you're using a wider ski, and it's also got a softer camber to it. So and camber is crucial in choosing the right ski. So any classic ski has 2 cambers. It's got a camber for kick and a camber for glide. So we take your ski. It's got a bend or a camber to it. It's got to support your body weight. And when you've got both feet on your skis, right under your boot where the kick wax goes or the kick zone is, we can see here this ski has a mechanical kick zone to it. So you're either going to have a mechanical kick zone or it's going to be smooth like this guy. Alright, it's got the same zone on it, but this ski is going to need to have a kick wax on it. And we'll cover waxing on another video perhaps. But in either case, when you've got your weight evenly on both skis, that kick zone has to be off the snow. And when you put all your weight on the one ski, that kick zone has to drop down to the snow and give you a kick. So on an ungroomed surface, as would be a lake or a backcountry, because the snow is softer, it hasn't been packed down yet, the camber has to be a lot softer. So in that case, we're going to use this sort of backcountry softer ski. Whereas on a track set where the track has been laid down and the track is hard, the ski has to have more camber to it or more pressure to keep that wax zone off the snow when you're trying to glide. The track set ski is also thinner because it doesn't need to have as much support on the snow as this one would have. So 2 different types of skis. So what I suggest to you, if you want to get the ski you're going to use most often, right? So if you happen to be on a cottage lake front and you want to go out your back door most of the time, choose this guy. You can still go out to the club and do track set skiing. It's just going to be a little bit slower because the kick zone is going to drag a bit more because your weight's going to push it down a little bit sooner. Whereas if you're going to ski at the club most of the time, you want to go with this guy. You can still go lake skiing on it. It just won't be quite as stable because it's thinner, right? So those are the 2 types of classic skiing in terms of recreational use. If you happen to be an athlete and love to run and cycle and go fast, you're going to want to go to a more performance style skiing, which is still the same thing, but you're going to use a different ski again. So here we've got a nice, well-tuned classic ski. So this ski is a little bit narrower, and it's got a much nicer built camber, much more tuned to your weight. So in any of these higher end skis, we can choose a ski based on its length. So this is a 207, and I can buy this 207 both in a soft or a medium camber. So I can fit somebody who's tall and a little bit heavier, and I can fit somebody who's tall and quite skinny and light by choosing a different cambered ski. Right? So again, if you're an athlete, you're going to want to go to a classic ski because you're not going to be happy skiing on a track set on a recreational ski because they just don't go as fast. So it's good to know who you are. If you just want to go out there and have some fun, be recreational, ski with your kids, maybe this is the kind of ski you're going to want, but it's not going to allow you to go fast if that's what you want to do. So be aware that there is a big difference in skiing. So we've got 2 different types of skis, and they also require different boots as well. So on the recreational side of things, we've got a touring boot like this, which is nice and warm and comfortable, thin slate lining, but I call it a sloppy fit. So it's very comfortable to go as we call it, shuffle skiing, or just recreationally skiing on the track set versus trying to go fast. You want to go fast, you need a boot like this guy. This is a higher end classic boot. Holds your foot much more snugly. So you can go fast and your boot's going to keep up to that speed. Right? So a couple different things there. And lastly, we'll quickly touch on poles. So here we've got two different poles. Disregard the different lengths. This is a touring pole. Very inexpensive, you know, $30 to $40, and very flexible too. So it's a little bit heavier and very flexible. So it's more for support, skiing along the trail. This is a performance pole in the, you know, the $400 range. So this pole is a lot lighter. So when you swing it, it doesn't take much to get the pole to go back and forth. And then when you try to push on it, it's very stiff, right? And this is going to allow you to push yourself forward as opposed to having the pole absorb your energy as this one would. Right? So this is just a couple of entry-level tips on classic skiing. Recreational, like I say, is very simple to get into. Height and weight, and a ski, and off you go. If you do get into a more athletic type of ski with a classic ski, you do need to take time to come and see somebody who knows what they're talking about with skis to make sure you get the right ski. For height and weight, you can end up with any type of ski, but we test them all for camber so that you end up with the exact ski for your skiing ability. Okay, come stop by the store if you can, and we'll get you set up.